Hello and welcome to this edition of Consider This. I'm your host, Charles Lake, and today we're going to talk about PFOAs, or the whole term PFAS, which encompasses 4,000 different PFOA, PFOS, keep going. So, they're all toxic. They're all very toxic. So, let's start talking about them, and there's going to be a real surprise at the end of this for you people that pay your taxes. The rich don't have to worry about it, I guess. They not so much have to pay taxes. So let's get going. We're going to go over to our... please don't forget about our Patreon site. $5 a month for 4 shows. It's like taking me out for a cup of coffee to give you the information. We need to keep up the research, the websites, all the hardware and software that we need to do the show. And we figured $5 a month at Patreon. Patreon gets about 2 of it. So we get about 3 of it, and we need everybody to get this information. That's why we keep it so low. All right, so let's go and get into, we're going to start with talking to your healthcare provider about the PFAS or PFO, you name it. Okay. Now they're a large complex of synthetic chemicals, meaning they're made in the industry, and they've been used since the 1940s. So they've been contaminating us since the 1940s. And it seems like every generation it gets a little bit worse and a little bit worse. And we'll go into that in just a few minutes. For example, it's used to keep food from sticking from the cookware and from the packaging. I advise you to read for yourself, because I have dyslexia pretty bad, and I tell everybody this all the time because sometimes I miss words and words jump on me. So that's why I put this up, so you can read it, so you can know I'm not trying to pull the wool over your eyes. It's our government and our corporations that are trying to pull the wool over your eyes, so that you have to pay for the effects of their product. So okay, number 1, nearly everybody in the United States has PFAS or PFOS or all those other chemicals in your blood. And they get in our bodies by drinking contaminated water, because a lot of, I lived in New York, upstate New York, for 30 some years, and they had problems up there with the product, their PFOS or PFOAs, getting out and contaminating well water and the drinking water for all the towns around them. So we know this. Eating foods from areas with contaminated soil or water. That's what I mean. These corporations don't take people into consideration. They just start making this stuff, whether it's good for the people or bad for the people, and then they don't contain it. And so it's all over the place. Accidentally swallowing contaminated soil or dust, which, that's kind of, dust gets in your mouth, you swallow, and it's there. Soil, that's mostly for the children, which we'll get into. Eating foods wrapped in material that contains PFOA, and what they do is paper, they spray this stuff on it because it keeps the food from soaking through the paper, number one, and it, I think it's disgusting, but they spray it on the cardboard and on the foods and things. So even if you're getting your food in paper nowadays, you're still getting contaminated. Accidentally swallowing residue or dust from containing PFOA products such as stain-resistant carpeting and water-repellent clothing. So this stuff's all over the place. And here we go on young children are more likely to get it in their bodies by chewing on their toys and fabrics, which now they admit that it's in the toys. So often hands in their mouth. They also might get it from drinking formula that's been contaminated by contaminated water. So in drinking breast milk from a person who has elevated PFAS in their body. I'm so used to seeing it PFOAs. I'm sorry. So it can be transferred from mother to baby during pregnancy. So that's one way. That's most of the ways you can get it in your body. It'll also soak through your skin. So, from other documentation I've been seeing. Some have been linked to health problems, higher cholesterol, lower birth rates, lower immune response to vaccines, kidney and testicular cancer, high blood pressure in pregnancy, and changes in liver function. It can give you a fatty liver if like you're a diabetic, even if you're not a diabetic. That's one of the side effects. This all comes from the Agency for Toxic Substance and Disease Registry. Like I say, I lose words sometimes. Should your family get blood tests for PFOAs? Well, they already admitted it's in everybody's blood. So the risks are already there. Testing may give you a peace of mind that you might be lower but I doubt if your insurance is going to pay for the test. That's all it might, but we know how insurances are. And the rest of this, it's going to be on my website within a week. Probably by the time the show gets up. So, because I've got to take some time. I got to 50 or 60 more medical studies and things to put on the website. So it's going to take me about a week because I am a one-man show. Okay, now we want to see what the American Cancer Society says about it. And like I said, I call it PFOA or PFOS because that's what we're used to dealing with. So, it's been there since the 1940s. They're very stable but don't interact with other chemicals. So that's why they put it on the paper, because the oils and stuff won't soak through the paper. They use it for non-stick coatings for your cookware, protective coatings for your carpeting and fabrics, your clothing. So, like I said, in a couple of the medical studies I searched through, it said you can get it through your skin. So we wear our clothes, so our clothes go against our skin, and there you go. They have also been paper and cardboard food packaging, which we talked about, firefighting foams, ski wax, and other products. So they are labeled forever chemicals because they last forever. Studies have found worldwide very low levels just in everybody's blood. I don't know when they last tested people around the world to find out how much this stuff has been attacking the human body, but so it can be found in some foods and drinking water and household dust. And studies have found that people living near working related chemical plants, PFOA related chemical plants, some of these studies have suggested increased testicular cancer and kidney cancer. And if you're a diabetic and you get kidney cancer, it could be a death sentence because diabetes also affects the kidney. And an increase, studies have also shown that it's possible to thyroid cancer. And I've been through thyroid cancer. In fact, they took my whole thyroid with 4 different kinds of cancer in 2016. So a lot of these chemicals that we're putting in our body by either making food containers or spraying it on food containers to make them a little bit better, which making it a little bit better for our bodies, it's just so that our fingers don't get dirty, is pretty intense. Other studies have suggested other cancers, including prostate, bladder, breast, and ovarian cancer. So, this stuff here should be off the market. And when we get to the end of the show, we're going to give you a real big surprise. Okay, diabetes. So, what they're saying is, like I said, it can give you a fatty liver disease, which is just like diabetes does. Okay, but sometimes you don't have diabetes, you just are overwhelmed by these chemicals. Okay, and they said that diabetes is non-alcoholic fatty liver, and this stuff causes obesity, and please, when I get these up, please go through them for yourself, and it's just the results show that it affects women only with the diabetes. So women get hurt more by this substance than men, and it is disgusting. So let's go on to our next one here, which is from Ellesmere, or panel. This is from 2012, and it shows a little bit more because the other one was from 2002. Between higher cholesterol, thyroid disease, kidney, and so this tells you that yes, kidney, testicular cancer, pregnancy-induced hypertension, and colitis. So if you're eating off this and you have colitis, it could make you worse. High cholesterol, they're always screaming at us about our cholesterol, and the last show I did was on plastics in our blood, and so I was always wondering, when they test for high cholesterol, why shouldn't they be testing for the plastic in our blood? Because the plastic can clog our arteries just as fast as cholesterol. And like I say, women get hit with this worse because they get pregnancy-induced hypertension. They have more chance of being diabetic from this. And I just went through, I've gone through a lot of these, but this takes up, you get into the middle of these medical studies and you gotta be a medical student to read it. And I am an old truck driver, but I can read and sustain this information because I've been going through this since 1992 when I was poisoned while unloading food product at a food warehouse. And I do this because I want to know what my life is going to be like moving forward. And I have made it for 32 years now. 92, 2002, 2012. Yeah, 32 years since I was poisoned. I've had 7 migraine-induced strokes and different, please keep reading. I've had 5 heart attacks, and the real thing that I'm wondering about having plastics in the body is there was no evidence of anything wrong with my brain from the 7 migraine-induced strokes. They took an MRI and they said my brain is for a 68-year-old, my brain hasn't shrunk yet, because I probably use it too much, because when I had the strokes, 2 of them I had to learn how to walk and talk all over again. That's why I never shut up, my wife says anyway. So let's go to the next one here. And this here is endocrinology. And they go through the same thing, non-stick coatings on food packaging, in product, your fibers, your clothing, curtains, your coverings, if you have material coverings on your furniture. So it's all over the place. Things you don't think about. So it is, type 2 diabetics with women. They haven't figured out if men have been getting it as much as women lately. And, that's pretty much the abstract right there, effects of cancer and type 2 diabetes. So it's not a good product. And this one here is about the breast cancer. They say that, however, the effects of PFOA and its mechanisms in action of hormone response is unclear. Yet women have been getting breast cancer more and more over the years. And like I say, one generation, we already have it in our blood, and it's given to the child during pregnancy. And then when the child grows up and been eating all this stuff, now it multiplies in the body. And he has children, or she has children, and we're not doing what we're supposed to for our children or for the human race. It's just, I'm hoping I'm giving you enough time here to read this so that we can go on to, and like I said, you can come back to it. It will be on the website, and I will have them numbered like I have here. And the ones that I didn't use on the show will not be numbered, but they will be in chronological order by date. So, and here we have, in conclusion, PFOA affects human health. And it goes on to say that conclusions in environmental health, where is it? The fetal growth. It decreases right here. It decreases the fetal growth in both human and non-human species. So it affects the weight of your child, and who knows what else it affects with the child, because studies have been slow and far in between. And this is an article I brung down, and I didn't highlight nothing in the article. It's bipartisan bill to ban PFAS as chemicals in food containers in Congress today. That was in 11/18/21. So they introduced the bill, and here's the bill. And this bill has gone nowhere so far. It is not law. And that's the whole bill. Section 2, here, let me leave it up for a minute. And the term PFAS means, substance and so forth. It's man-made, and it was supposed to be banned by January 1st, 2024. But the last couple years with the Republicans in charge of the House, we didn't expect this to go anywhere, because they are not interested in our health. They're interested in power and money. So, and now for the big surprise. Chemical makers sue over rule to rid water of forever chemicals. The industry groups say that the EPA had exceeded its authority in requiring the drinking water cleanup. The chemicals known as PFAS or PFOAs, or whatever you want to call them, are linked to cancer and health risks. So I suggest, and this was June 10th, 2024, by this author here, reporter. So these companies, here we go. These companies are saying that the taxpayers should ultimately foot the bill for the cleanup of them not using their chemical wisely, or keeping the chemicals out of the water, or keeping the chemicals out of our food. But it was made for the food, and it was never. This is in 2018. I've showed you many times, and in fact, I showed you on the last show the medical establishment, precisely for the children, said that there were 4,000 chemicals that were never vetted that were allowed to be put either in our food or in our packaging. And this is one of them, or a couple of them, because, so as you can see, these corporations that made trillions of dollars off of this stuff since 1940 is saying that, well, it's not our fault we were incompetent in treating the chemical like it was supposed to be treated and keeping it in our plants, and we let it get out into the water and we let it get into your food and everything. So the taxpayers should pay for it because, we only made like trillions of dollars on this stuff, and we can't afford, because we pay our presidents and vice presidents and CEOs and everything millions of dollars a year to sit there and figure out how not to get our money spent. But this is what I'm talking about. Corporations are going to do this all the way down it's crazy. They poison you, and you got to pay the medical bills. They poison the earth, and you got to pay to clean it up because you're a taxpayer. And they get to keep the trillions of dollars and the trillions of dollars and walk away. Well, nothing's been said yet, but the EPA says it costs about $1.5 billion annually, so every year, to fix this, and that President Biden in 2021 set aside $9 billion for communities with this contamination, which they're all over the United States. It wasn't one plant. They had them in New York, Michigan, I believe. They have them in Texas, Florida, almost every state in the union. So this is what, billions of dollars to clean it up per year. So I'm asking you, should you use your tax money to clean up something that these corporations made trillions of dollars on? That's my question to you. Well, that's going to be the show for today. I hope you stay safe and stay healthy. And we will get back to you next time. We're hoping you join our Patreon site. $5 a month, and you get 4 shows a month. And we're going to keep pulling this stuff out and showing you not only how you're being poisoned and what it's costing you. I really like to get so that these corporations have to put money into Medicare and Medicaid, so that we can have the funds to treat every person. If this stuff is in everybody's blood, everybody should have insurance, and we should have insurance just like all the other countries. Universal health care. It's not socialized. We've already got socialized stuff. We got socialized corporations poisoning the American people and not standing up and doing what's right to get and they fight to keep their product on the market. They lie. They're just disgusting. And I think they should pay for what they did. And I think you think the same way I do, because if you're paying, I have no thyroid. I've been a diabetic since 1992. Now I'm an insulin-dependent diabetic because some of the medication for the diabetes shut my kidneys down, and I have to be careful. I have to be tested for my kidneys all the time to make sure that they don't drop again. I've had the heart attacks, which nobody knows why I've had the heart attacks. I've had 3 catheterizations, and they all came out fine. In fact, the first one scared the hell out of me. The doctor came out and said, "You got the heart of a 10-year-old. I'm like, "Is it too small?" No. Your heart has no clogs, no nothing. It's like a 10-year-old. He said, "We don't have any idea why you had the heart attacks." So I just had the last one in 2022, and they said the same thing. They said, your heart is fine. There's nothing wrong with your heart. We don't know why you're having the heart attacks. And so where are we going to go? They tell me my brain's fine. I don't have any symptoms from the 7 strokes. My heart's fine. I don't have no symptoms from the 5 heart attacks. But I still can't breathe. I can't move. I look fine. But my body is not what it used to be. Again, thank you for listening. I ran on a little bit. I hope you have a great day, and stay safe and stay healthy.